It seems most fitting that a Fannie Lou Hamer driving tour extends north of Ruleville into nearby Drew. As one of the toughest places to organize local blacks, Charles McLaurin and Hamer would occasionally venture into this infamously hard town. Why infamous? While many believe, thanks to the erroneous history peddled by William Bradford Huey, that Emmett Till was murdered near Glendora, Mississippi, and then dumped into the Tallahatchie River, we know that Till was actually murdered just north and west of Drew in a plantation seed barn. Hamer was not only very aware of the Till story, but one of the admitted murderers, J.W. Milam's brother, was a police officer in Ruleville. Not infrequently would Hamer regale audiences with stories of S.L. Milam's intimidation tactics. This allowed her to connect her story with the martyred 14-year-old boy from Chicago who'd been lynched in 1955. In 1969, Hamer founded Freedom Farm Cooperative, a local co-op near and dear to her vision of local empowerment. Hamer understood that poverty and hunger lay at the very root of countless social ills, and Freedom Farm was her answer to poor local blacks and whites reclaiming a piece of dignity and a piece of bread to feed their hungry families.
And so help me God, the cry of hunger is the cry of hunger, whether it comes from black, white, brown, or red.
Well, I've been going around a lot of areas and folk just not having enough to get food stamps and all of this kind of stuff. And we just thought, if we had land to grow some stuff on, then it would be a help to us because, living on the farm, on some plantation, they still don't give you a place to grow stuff. So we founded Freedom Farms in 1969. We got in February, we got some money, just donations, to put an option on 40 acres of land.
These from the northern people?
From northern people, that's right. Madison Measure for Measure, a small organization out of Madison, Wisconsin, raised enough money for us to put the option on the land, and then another guy that works in Nashville now in Vanderbilt, a young guy named Luster Solomon. I called him and told him about the type and the jam that we were in, and he ran an ad in a paper at Harvard, in Cambridge, Massachusetts. So he ran that article, and about a week they had raised about $1,900. So we got the option on the land, and we started, and we seen it was going to be a success. And then in 1970 or 71, we put another down payment, $85,000 on 640 acres. So we grow vegetables.
How many acres do you have altogether now?
Well, it's 640 and 40. 680 acres. It's in the 700.
How many families are involved in Freedom Farm?
Well, I would believe it's over a couple thousand people that's involved.
We're fighting for the rights of all human beings, and we're going about the thing in a very good way, because we know if you give us food, we can eat a few days. But if you give us the tools, we'll produce for ourselves. I just don't want people to have to give me and my people a welfare check. I want some land.
We've been able to help a lot of people. We grow our own vegetables, like butter beans, peas, okra, potatoes, peanuts, started this pig bank program.
Funding for Freedom Farm also came from the National Council of Negro Women. Hamer's audacious undertaking would eventually help locals grow vegetables as well as staple crops such as cotton and soybeans. Freedom Farm Road marks part of the land on which Hamer's vision for black and white self-sufficiency might flourish.
The plan of the thing is that it can grow to produce enough that people just won't know what hunger is.
Freedom Farms Cooperation is one of the best things that ever happened in Sunflower County. For the first time in our lives, we will have the chance to control some of our destiny.
I don't be ashamed when somebody come here and I can go in the kitchen and fry some ham and open some soup and have some vegetables.
Once you have been hungry and had to stay hungry, when you see them that's suffering, you want to change it for them too.
On the way to Freedom Farm Road by way of Brooks Road, note the crossing of Wild Bill Bayou. A fascinating and very influential part of Fannie Lou Hamer's life unfolded here on the 14th of December 1923 when she was just 6 years old. A local black sharecropper by the name of Joe Pullum killed 4 white men and wounded 15 others after a dispute with a local plantation owner over wages. According to local lore, once Pullum had killed that owner, he fled to this bayou where the expert marksman hid out in a hollowed-out cypress tree and began taking down the mob of white men one by one. It wasn't until late in the evening that locals finally burned out the bayou by flooding it with gasoline and setting it on fire. Pullum's body was later paraded through downtown Drew. Hamer grew up with the legend of Joe Pullum and spoke frequently about the courageous black sharecropper. In the far western corner of the Drew Cemetery is Pullum's Corner, headstones marked with a December 1923 death date.